Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the Village Sunday service. We are honored that you are here. Meg McKeever is one of Jane and my best friends. She is a highly respected OBGYN in Seattle, and she also is a part of us at the Village. She is a part of us, and she is a part of Everybody Church, and for that I'm very grateful. She wrote this, what I'm going to read, just a few years ago, and I think it bears repeating today. So listen to this. I see you, those of you who are hurting today, those of you who have desperately wanted to mother but haven't been able to do so, you who were hoping, praying, and waiting in vain for the right partner who never appeared, those of you who have spent months and years and decades charting and trying and cursing your beautiful, strong, and hardworking bodies for not being able to do this one thing. I see you. Those of you who have chosen not to mother babies of your own, you have chosen instead to tend fiercely to your fur babies and your gardens and your friendships and your passions. The aunties who love deeply and wildly of your people, I see you. Those of you who do have children or mothers, but whose relationships with these people are irretrievably broken. Those of you who have tried and tried and tried to find your way back, but who cannot safely reach across that divide. Those who today are mourning a relationship which might have been, but really truly just isn't. I see you. And you warriors, those of you who have lost your beloved mothers and babies far too soon, those of you tending to broken and weary hearts today, your eyes wet with tears, you who are grieving a loss that may be recent or may be very familiar by now, I see you, and I love you. Happy second Sunday in May. Happy beautiful spring Sunday. Happy love in all its forms day. Meg, I could not have said that any better if I tried 100 years. I could have not said it better, so thank you very much. And to those of you who resonate with that, we see you and we love you. Well, I was thinking about a service on Mother's Day during a pandemic. I thought, I wish I could bring a bunch of moms into this space, because if I were you, I'd be tired of looking at me all the time. I'd want you to see other people. And so I was talking to Neil, how do we do this? And the logistics really didn't make that work because we wanted to keep social distance. And so Neil said, why don't we try something where we actually interview the people from their homes? And I said, you can do that. And he said, I think we can. So I have been excited in a way that I can't even explain, because this morning we're going to talk to 10 moms who are an active part of the Village family. And for those of you around the world, this will allow you to see a little bit of the diversity that people talk about when they come to our church, because you're going to see young moms and older moms, you're going to see straight moms and gay moms, you're going to see white moms, black moms, you're going to see a spectrum of people, and I think it represents a lot of who we are. Our first mom is Brittany. She also is our youngest mom that we're going to be talking to today. She has been at the Village for the last 6 years. She is the daughter of Jimmy and Sharon Mayo, who happen to be two of Jane and my best friends. Brittany is married to Derek, who works on the technical team here and is brilliant, but he's helping make sure the Village services are always the very best they can be. Brittany works in our children's ministry, and she also is a photographer. Good morning, Brittany. It is great to see you. How are you and the family doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
We're doing okay too, thank you. Jane wants me to let you know she loves and she misses you guys.
Yes, I love her too.
How are you guys holding up through the pandemic?
You know, we're doing pretty well. Derek has been able to keep his job, so that's been really wonderful. We haven't had to worry about that as much, and I've been able to make a little bit of money doing photography, doing some porch pictures, safe with social distancing, of course, and it's been a lot of fun. So we've been able to make it all right.
Brittany, tell us a little bit about your son, Hudson. How old is he now?
He will be 3 in July, so it makes him a little over 2.5. He has the best personality. He is just so happy and chill all the time, and he is just the happiest kid. And he loves music and playing the drums at church and running around with Reese and Avery and all the little boys there and anybody who can play with him pretty much. And he just is happy all the time. He's just a good kid.
Oh, he's a great kid. And one of the great joys that I have is watching him grow up. That's one of the great joys of being a pastor. As a parent of a toddler, has this current climate of social distancing changed your parenting routine very much?
Honestly, no, it really hasn't. I am a stay-at-home mom, so we're kind of used to staying home and staying away from a lot of people. But it did make me realize that before this, I definitely took going to the park and going out and taking him places to experience things. I took all of that for granted. Because now that we can't go and we're stuck in a house, it's a little hard, but that is definitely something I've learned that I'm going to take advantage of when we're able to again.
You're very wise to recognize that we have taken things for granted. That's been a good learning experience for all of us. Hey, listen, you are wonderful, wonderful, and we love you very much. Thanks for dropping in, and happy Mother's Day to you. Thanks, Brittany, very much.
Thank you so much. We love you too, and we wouldn't be who we are without you guys. So thank you.
Well, we not only have moms of young children, but we also have some moms of some grown children that we want to talk to today. I want to welcome this morning to our service Yvonne Baxter. Yvonne has been at the Village for the last several years. She is the Resource Development Director at Safe House Outreach, which you hear about a lot. She is married to Charles, and both she and Charles are from Jamaica. Welcome, Yvonne.
Thank you, Pastor Ray. I just love you and Jane so much.
Well, we love you too, Yvonne, and I really look forward to the social distancing being over so we can join you and Charles for one of your wonderful Jamaican meals.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. So first, I want to thank you for being with us today because I understand you've been experiencing quite a lot of pain. Seems like you've had a medical condition.
Yes.
Can you let us know kind of what's been going on?
Yes, it's shingles.
Oh.
That's horrible. It is. I believe it's worse than childbirth.
Oh, man. Yvonne, I am praying for you, and I hope that things get better very, very soon. Hey, you're the parent of 2 grown children, and I want you to tell me just a little bit about each of them.
I'm very proud. I think when people ask me what am I most proud of, I think it's being a mother because I lucked out. I have 2 amazing young people. They're both in their 30s, Tavia and Ramike. They're really a mother's dream as adult children. Tavia, she was really confident as a baby and knew what she wanted. In the town where we lived in Jamaica, everybody knew Tavia. She just owned the town. It didn't make any sense that a 4-year-old could be recognized by so many people. And she liked the camera. She was never shy, wanted to be the lead. Whereas Ramike, he came here when he was 1 year old, so he was younger. But Ramike was a bit the shy one, but very intuitive, always reading something, and so on. And by 6, by Ramike was 6 years old. We began to think that he was an interesting fellow. He spent his summers reading encyclopedia. I do not know if kids nowadays know what that is, but we had a set of lexicon encyclopedia, and every summer Ramike would pick a topic and he would study something like wars or buildings or whatever. I was in school, in college, and he would be intrigued by what I was studying. He'd question me. He was very, inquisitive or intuitive about everything. While Tavia was Miss Social Butterfly. Ramike went to some of the best schools. He was in public school, but at 12, he came home and said, "There's this opportunity for me to go to a boarding school." And I said, "No, you're not going." And he said, "What kind of mom are you? You're going to deprive me of the best education money can buy because you're scared?" And so I let go. He passed all the tests or exams he needed to, and he got into one of the most prestigious prep school in the Northeast called Philip Exeter Academy. Did very well there, aced the SATs, and got a full scholarship to Harvard University at 17 years old. Graduated from Harvard University with magna cum laude. Today, he is a creative director for a magazine in New York. While Tavia didn't want to leave home, didn't want to go far, she said, "Mommy, I'll go to college, but it has to be close enough where I can come home so you can cook for me and wash my clothes, do my laundry." So hence Tavia went to the party school, we call it in New York, called Stony Brook University. But she did so well. She excelled as a leader. She did extremely well, majored in business administration and art. At the time, I didn't know that there was any career in design or what it was called. I just know that she was really good at decorating and building things. One day she said to me, "I think I really want to start my own business." I said, "In what?" She said, "Design." I said, "Okay. So how are you going to be paid?" She said, "Could I stay with you until I get it together?" And I believe in encouraging dreams. I believe that if you encourage your children and you're there for them, they can do anything. It's been a lot, and I think the one that I'm most proud of is that she had a 4-page spread in Essence magazine last year.
Very cool.
And as an African American woman, that's a real honor. So I am fortunate to be a mom who has just the privilege of raising amazing young people.
Wow. You have said that so well. Yvonne, happy Mother's Day to you. You really do it super. And thanks for spending a few minutes with us this morning.
Thank you.
We're praying for you to have a speedy recovery with your shingles, and I can't wait to eat that Jamaican meal with you and Charles. Thank you for dropping by.
Thank you, Pastor, and I can't wait to have dinner. We have all this big, I'm going to give you a big Jamaican, you know how I do. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. That is
Thank
super.
you.
Thank you. Well, our next moms are Jessica and Amanda Whitaker. And they came to the village a couple of years ago, and they have become two of my most favorite people. Jessica leads our book club at the village, and Amanda has worked as a substitute teacher in our children's ministry. First off, ladies, thank you for being with me. And can you start by just telling us a little bit about your son, Connor?
He's just a sweet, sweet little boy. He loves to read his books. Jessica likes to describe him as a raging bull. Hold on, she'll do it best.
He's a mini raging bull. He has all kinds of energy, and he's super clumsy, and he runs into everything, but then he calms down, and he's super, super sweet.
He is a precious, precious little boy. It's one of the great joys to me of being a pastor is I get to watch these kids grow up. And then I've been doing this long enough that I watch them from 2 to 3 to 10 to 15 to 25 to then getting to stand, if they choose to get married, at their wedding, and sometimes getting to officiate their marriage. It's really one of the great, great honors. It's been fun watching him grow up at the church. So Amanda is a firefighter and an EMT. Can you tell us what that has been like through this pandemic?
Absolutely. Every third day I work 24 hours and I come in contact with positive COVID patients, and some of them just have the symptoms and we don't even know if they're getting tested at the hospitals if they do have the symptoms. So it's been challenging to keep myself, what's the word I'm looking for? Safe by, putting all of the precautions on. And then whenever I get home, luckily our laundry room is kind of in an attached part of the house. So I don't actually come into the house with my clothes from shift. I get undressed, put everything in the washing machine, and immediately go take a shower. That way I'm not bringing anything into the house.
Well, I can't tell you how much I admire you and the work you're doing. We're really proud of all that you're doing. Jessica, has this been different for you?
Oh, yeah.
You normally work outside of the home, I think kind of an executive, got a lot going on, and then also trying to take care of Connor during the daytime?
Ooh, it's been fun. It's been a challenge. We like to call it a challenge.
Yes,
yeah, right. No, it's been hard to it's been challenging working remote when you're used to having your full office of staff and all of your equipment and everything that you need in the office, and then suddenly you're now moving your whole office into a tiny office and sharing it with your wife who's also in school at the same time, and then having a 3-year-old interrupt every 5 minutes.
I want a hug.
I want a hug. Mommy, I need this. Mommy, I need that. So, I mean, we're really blessed and fortunate to be able to work from home. I only go into the office once a week, so that's awesome. But so we're glad that we can have him with us, and we're glad we can be safe, but it has definitely made work more challenging and exciting. But my job is thankfully very understanding, so I have a really good company that I work for.
Hey, you ladies are wonderful, and we love you.
Thank you. We love you. We can't wait to see you guys soon in person. All the hugs.
Yes, hugs. I'm in for the hugs. Thanks for dropping in this morning. Happy Mother's Day to both of you. The next lady is a wonderful person, a wonderful friend, who's also a single mom. I met Andrea a few years ago. It was one of the high-profile weddings in Atlanta. Two very, very, very successful, wonderful people, loved by everybody. And I was going to be in the wedding. I had kind of a small part. I was going to just welcome this very diverse crowd that was assembling. And then Andrea was going to do the ceremony. And I remember talking to her around that wedding, and she was nervous. It was the biggest wedding she had ever done. And so anyway, the wedding occurred, it happened, and Andrea killed. She was the best. Jane and I said it was one of the greatest weddings we've ever been to. And shortly after the wedding, she showed up on a Sunday morning with her 2 children, and I was blown away. Good morning, Andrea. It is good to see you. How are you making it through the pandemic?
Good morning, Pastor Ray. Good morning, Village family. We are making it by the grace and mercy of God. We are making it.
Hey, would you tell us a little bit about your 2 children?
Mikhail and Micaiah Smalls are teenagers. They are kind and smart and studious. They're teenagers, though they don't like anybody. They're the kind of kids that you want to hug and strangle at the same time. So they're wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Hey, you're a successful business person, and you're also mom of teenagers. How have you been making it through this pandemic?
Yes, and I think that challenge and chaos are about synonymous during this pandemic, because there's so many things that we weren't used to that now all of a sudden we have to remember. Okay, you have a class at this time. Okay, Andrea, you have a conference call at this time. Okay, Mom, I missed it. Oh, but you know what? Throughout it all, it has been peaceful, and whatever we missed, it wasn't that big of a deal anyway. I want to just say that the teachers that have been so gracious and kind during this season, I want to shout out all the teachers, not just at my kids' school, but throughout this country, who have been amazing. We love you too.
I want to ask you another question. What has been your biggest joy as a parent or as a mom?
There's a woman in the Bible by the name of Hannah. And before she had her children, she was barren and she couldn't have children. And she used to cry and cry and cry. And I so relate to Hannah, because I myself could not have my own children. And at one point, I, had to pray to God and ask him, please, God, And God was so kind and gracious that he allowed Mikhail and Micaiah to come into our lives. And that, above all things, has been one of my greatest joys, just having them. The love, the dimension of love that they provide Glenn and I has just been something that's unexplainable.
Well, that is beautifully said. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. I miss getting to see you face to face, but I'm so happy that we could do it this way. Happy Mother's Day to you, and I can't wait to see you in person.
Well, thank you. We can't wait to get back, and I want to hug Jaden's neck, want to hug your neck, and just get back to the village. Take care.
Well, these next two have been at the village for 8 years. I first knew of Shantae and Crystal when they wrote me. I think I was in California when I got this email. They wrote me. They told me they had heard of our church and they wanted to visit our church, but they did not want to bring their small children into a place that would not know how to handle two moms. And I assured them we would honor their relationship just as much as if the children had a dad and a mom. We would make no difference. It would be exactly the same. And so they said they'd come, and they did. They came, they visited, and they said they loved it. And now they are longtime villagers. And I just want to say hello, ladies. It is really great to see you this morning. And we've missed seeing your smiling faces in person.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait till we can all hug necks again. That'll be a big day.
I know that's right.
Agreed.
I know that's right.
Well, my first question, both of you are frontline people. Shantae as a nurse and Crystal as a paramedic. Has this made your parenting any different over the last 2 months?
It's challenging. So we actually made the decision about a month ago when things, we really kind of initiated that shelter in place and decided to send our kids, Zach and Emma, to stay with their grandparents. It was a very difficult decision for us to make, but we did not want, we knew that we were putting them at risk every single day that we were coming home from work, both of us being on the front lines. And so we knew by putting them in a safe place where they weren't exposed so much every day, that they were better off. And we only just recently
Brought them back
home
they
this
just
week.
came home a
We're
week.
so glad that they're back.
Yeah.
We miss them like crazy, but we know that it was the right decision during the peak of all of this. And we were lucky to have grandparents to
Hey, Emma.
keep us
That's right.
to keep them safe. So
That had to be a wonderful homecoming when Zach and Emma came home.
yes, it was very much, and to be able to wrap our arms around them and hug them was very special.
Oh.
Yeah.
They are two amazing young people. I have missed seeing them like crazy.
I know they miss coming to the church.
Yeah, it's weird. They've been watching on Sunday mornings, but it's such a routine of our family to be there on Sunday, and it's weird. It's just weird. It's weird times.
I totally agree with you. Very, very weird times. Hey, second question is this. Can you tell us just some of the joys that you two have known as moms?
I think one of the biggest and best things, and can be the most challenging, is to see them like grow up into the people that they're becoming. Like they're truly like, we both have we have teens now, so
Yes, that changes a lot.
yeah, so just seeing the people that they're developing and the adults that they're becoming into their own, I think it's awesome and it's challenging.
It's really beautiful to watch your kids. You hope that you're doing the right thing and you're teaching them well and instilling good values into them. And then when they get old enough to encounter challenging situations and they handle them with such grace and there's such kindness in their hearts, it's one of the most proud moments that you can have.
Thank you, ladies, so much. You are both heroes to us. And I don't say that lightly. You are both heroes to us. And thank you for dropping in, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, our next mom is Rachel Waters, who has been in our church since she was in high school a long time ago. Anybody who knows the Village Church has known for the last 15 plus years, Rachel has been a significant part of all the music that we've done, and we're really proud of her. She's also one of my daughter-in-laws, married to my son Ethan. And Rachel, thank you for dropping in. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciated your post the other day on Ahmad.
Thank you very much.
Hey, tell me, what has been the toughest part of being able to work at home, yet also being a full-time parent?
Yeah, so it's definitely been an adjustment. I would say probably the most challenging in all of this is just adapting to all of the new. So the boys are home full time. I am certainly not the most domesticated of women. And so I am preparing meals 3 times a day when previously I maybe cooked dinner a few times a week, maybe. And so that's been a big change. I am working remotely now, so our office is closed, so having virtual conference calls all throughout the day while also trying to help the boys with their schoolwork that's still continuing in all of this. So Ethan and I are kind of tag teaming on that, and I'm grateful for him being able to work from home too, so that we can kind of share that responsibility. And then in addition to that, I am enrolled in school, so I'm also taking a couple of classes right now. So I envy all of the folks that I see on Instagram and Facebook who are like knocking out home projects and organizing closets. And I'm just grateful to get to like 8 or 9 o'clock at night and be able to sit and think non-work related thoughts for the first time in the day. So it's a little exhausting. I think just adapting to the new schedule has been probably the most challenging of it all.
Yeah, that's great. I understand. You chronicle your life with Ethan and the boys really well on social media. I love just reading what you write. Can you just tell us a funny or embarrassing moment about being a mom of the boys?
Yeah. I mean, I will say parenting is the most humbling role I have ever had in my life. You think you get to a point where you think, oh, I'm figuring this out. And then you enter a new stage of parenthood and you realize you have no idea what you're doing. There's probably a million different examples I could think of. The first one that comes to mind is Reese, when he was, I think, 3 years old. He had not been in daycare for the first couple of years of his life. And so he finally was in daycare, and we invited his entire class to a birthday party, and it was at this indoor sports arena, and he was excited, we were excited, and there were probably 20 something kids there. And about 15 minutes in, he just started feeling really lethargic, and he had a little bit of a fever, and just kind of his mood completely changed. So Ethan ended up taking him home halfway through the party, and we later found out that he had hand, foot, mouth, which any parent will know that is highly contagious, and you don't really know that they have it until after they're contagious. And so I had the pleasure of going back and having to notify the 20 families that were invited, hey, by the way, thanks for the gift, but your kid may have hand, foot, mouth. So
That's a good one. That's very good. Hey, tell me about the greatest gift that you have experienced through this time of pretty much being in lockdown. What stands out to you?
Yeah, I feel like for me personally and for our family, just the slowness that we've been able to kind of adopt because of all of this. We have a lot less on our schedule that we're trying to keep track of. And so even with all of the moving parts, I know I mentioned earlier, just juggling work and schoolwork for the boys and schoolwork for myself, even with all of that, not having those additional places that we have to run off to or events that we have to be a part of has been really, really nice just to have family time, impromptu plans made because we're not obligated to something else we've already committed to. I feel like just the overall slowness has been such a gift for us as a family in all of this.
Yeah, well said. Very well said. I love you. Happy Mother's Day to you.
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, next, I want to welcome to the service Tamika Farabi. I met Tamika and her many years ago at a wedding for one of the CNN anchors. And we sat at the same table for the dinner afterwards. And as we were talking and they found out I was a pastor, they said, we're going to start coming to your church. And Jane and I went home and said, they were sure a delightful couple, but they're not going to start coming to our church. Everybody says that. They're not going to do it. But then the next day, the next Sunday, they showed up, and we have become great, great friends. Tamika is an administrative assistant to one of the vice presidents at CNN. She has a 13-year-old son named Zachary, and then she has the twins, Blake and Brooke, who are 5 years old. Tamika, it is great to see you. It has been too long.
It's so good to speak with you and hear your voice and to see you. And whenever I can get a chance for human interaction above 5 years old, I'm happy.
You are funny. I remember when my boys were 5, but I experienced them one at 5 and then 3 years passed and then another one at 5. I cannot imagine what it's like to experience 2 5-year-olds at the same time. Tell me, how is life working for CNN? I know it's a very active, busy life, but you are home quarantined and you're the mom to Zach and the twins. How's that going?
It's been going. It's so funny because before this all happened, I prayed, I wanted to spend more time with Zach and the twins. They're growing up so fast, and I didn't know that my prayers would be answered quite this way.
You're the reason. You're the reason.
Yeah, so I'm getting double that I asked for. So it's been great. I'm enjoying. Listen, they're only going to be these ages once in their life, so you do have to grab a hold of it.
Will you look back on this time and will you see it as something that causes you anxiety and stress, or are you going to look back on this time and remember it fondly? I'm just curious. What's your thoughts, and will you expand on it just a little bit?
Well, I guess I'm down the middle because I do feel like that through this virus, we have been stripped from everything and we don't have anywhere else to go but God. And during this season, all we have is family, and I'm thankful for that because it has forced us to all slow down and appreciate the things that we have and the people that we have around us. But then on the other hand, I am going to feel, such sadness because so many people have lost their lives. And I hope that we can look back and really learn the lessons from what has happened, and we can take those lessons and go forth.
I agree 100% with you. If we can learn the lessons that we need to learn, then we're going to look back on this and say it was worth it. Hey, Jane and I cannot wait for this thing to kind of get behind us so we can see you guys at church, or we can plan a get together with you and Herb and really the whole family.
Well, that sounds wonderful. And I just want to let everyone know the twins, when all this is over, the twins are available any weekend that anyone at the church wants to babysit.
You're crazy. Happy Mother's Day, Tamika. We love you.
Okay. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Well, our final mom is one that I know pretty well. She's also our oldest mom, and she is our oldest villager. She is 90 years old. She is Jane's mom. She's my mother-in-law, and her name is Joyce, or to many people, she is Nana Joyce. She's that to our kids and also to our grandkids. Hello, Joyce. Thank you for dropping in on us this morning at the village. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Ray. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Hey, I know you have a church, Valley Brook Church in Decatur, that you attend, but you also come down and you worship with us as often as you can, and that means the world to us. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me interview you this morning on Mother's Day.
Well, thank you, Ray. I appreciate doing this for you.
I have heard this story a few times from you, but I thought it would be a really good story for other people to hear on Mother's Day. Just so people kind of know the context, you had a son, and then you got pregnant and you knew you were going to be having another child. Will you tell me about that, kind of what you were feeling when you first found out that you were with child?
Oh, even the day I went to the doctor and found out for sure that I was carrying a baby, I started praying then that this would be a little girl. I loved my little boy. Oh, I just loved him to pieces, but he would always so independent. He'd say bye to mama and go off with his daddy. And I said, I want me a little girl, and I just know she'll stick with me. Honey, I got that and more.
So has Jane held up her end of the deal?
Jane has held up mighty well the end of her with her end of the deal. I'm telling you, she hung on my side. I'd have to cook dinner with her hanging on my hip. But she's still hanging on to me.
She loves you so much.
Yes.
Joyce, you are our oldest mom. I was really sad. Right at the beginning of March, we were planning a big birthday party for your 90th birthday, and then when this COVID-19 hit, we had to cancel your party. But I want to honor you. You have seen way more life than any of the rest of us.
Yes.
And you've experienced a lot of good in your life, but you also have experienced some tragedy. Your husband passed away 38 years ago, and your only son and your only grandson have died. Can you share some 90-year-old wisdom with us as we wind down this part of our Mother's Day service?
Yes. I've experienced a lot of tragedy in my life. I think grieving is important, but I also feel that moving on is important too. Life is about the living. It took me a while to realize that because, it was such a horrible grief. But I'm telling you, you have to give your best to others. You have to think of them. And also, I went to my favorite Bible verse. That was what I'd go to. It was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. That couldn't be any more better advice to anyone. So thank you very much, Ray.
No, thank you, Joyce. You know, I've told you this, you're one of my favorite people on the planet, and I love you very, very much. Happy Mother's Day to you. So I hope you enjoyed our talk with 10 unique women who attend the Village Church who are moms. And I hope you also appreciated what we read earlier from Meg, because we know not everybody's a mom, and for many this is a painful day. But we just wanted to kind of give you a sense of the fact that we have people in every category that's a part of our church. And we hope that you heard wisdom. We hope that you resonated with people's hearts. If you're one of those people that feel like you wouldn't belong or you wouldn't fit in a church, I want you to know we'd love for you to be a part of our family. We believe in building a bigger table and inviting more and more people to come and join the family. And that's why we call this place a chosen family. Thank you for watching. We are praying for you every day. If you need to reach out to me, please, ray@raywaters.com. Send me an email and I will get back in touch with you, I promise. And I know one day we will all be together in the same space. I know that's going to happen. I know it's probably not going to be anytime soon. So thank you for staying connected with us. We love you. God, I pray for every person who has watched today. I just pray whatever they are needing in their life, they'll discover it. And they'll discover that you are good and that you are with them and you long for the best in each of our lives. Thank you for these moms. Thank you for all the other moms that we didn't get to talk to, because we know we have scores of other moms at our church. And then for those that this doesn't represent their happiest day, let them know that they are loved and cherished, and it's okay. We love you, and we pray this in Christ's name.